Yeah, if you're looking for the look action of Couta, it is definitely Couta season. Anglers have been enjoying the spoils. Well, hello and welcome to this week's Angler News KZN Fishing Report. Guys, it's been another week in KZN where it's been a few big seas, but there has been some decent amount of fish caught. Now, bear in mind, as just a reminder, this is a highlights version of the full report, which you can catch on any of your favorite podcast channels. So make sure to go and get that. But in this show, we are going to show you the visuals of what's been going on KZN over this past week and a quick rundown of what you can expect for this weekend coming up. So let's start off down the South Coast, where we usually do, with a report from our South Coast guru, Adam. And Adam has reported that the fishing has been a bit of Groundhog Day this week. The sea has been up, it's been down, the fishing has been good, the fishing has been bad on certain days. However, the river fishing has really produced the goods with some decent amount of rock species that's been in the mix. Apart from that, the lower, further down South Coast towards your Port Edward area has been producing the goods with some decent carp activity that's reaching between 7 to 9 kilos, but more so in the evenings. That is for the night fishing. But you know what, guys, there is still fish to be caught, and especially if you are fishing in that San Lemire Caribbean Estate area, that's where most of the action has been coming out from. But in saying that, there's also been a few hound sharks down at Splash Rock and a few other mixed bag of inedibles and edibles throughout the lower coast. But like he says, not fireworks. But guys, here is Adam with today's fishing report from the beach. This is what the fishing conditions were looking like.
Good morning, Ganesh. Morning, guys. It's Thursday. Very, very light breeze this morning. As you can see, conditions not too bad down here at Lucien Point. Even the hardy was up earlier this morning. Margaret Pier in the distance. Water's looking not too bad. Definitely fishable. Got Lucien points over here. Waves are still a bit big. Moving down to Shade Bay in the distance. So there's one or two anglers in the corner there. Not looking too bad this morning, Ganesh.
So guys, that is lower down South Coast. Now moving towards your Rocky Bay, Pennington, Scottbury area, there's been some reports of some decent snook action, especially from the kayak boys. The snook has been really on the bite. So yeah, if you're looking for that snook action offshore, that's the area to be. Now moving down to Warner Beach, where the fishing has been better over the last few weeks. It's been getting progressively better. So the river, still fishing well, still some decent rock salmon in there, but on the surf, you can get some pompano, and I heard the shad is on the bite. So Warner Beach looking pretty good. As for the Couta is certainly in that area where we've been getting reports on a daily basis that there has been some bending rods on that species. Now moving on to Durban, where the fishing is always quite good. This is throughout the entire Durban stretch. We've got Granto, there's been reports of stumpies, decent bronze bream, the odd shad in between. The conditions has been rather favorable. The seas has been big, where the water temperature has been pretty warm. But if you're looking for that inedible action, there's been some decent ones coming out from between your Addington and Moyos area. That's in the evenings, where we've got reports of a few gray sharks being about 20 kilos each. Well, they've been averaging 20 kilos, let's put it that way. As for your offshore fishing has been pretty good throughout this week, and we've got Brad that's going to tell you a bit more about that.
Right, good morning, guys. Brad here, Linsky Fishing Charters. Fishing report for the last week. Other than the terrible weather we had over the weekend, the fishing has been pretty good. Yeah, we managed to get a couple of snook off the Blue Lagoon and some off the Bluff area. There have been some nice Couta off from Sloty Belito side. On the bottom fishing side, yeah, guys, it's been alright. We get some nice Englishmen, some nice soldiers. A couple of the Proteo bream have come in. But yeah, as I say, I'm sitting out here at the moment in about 70 meters on the screen. Water temperature, 25 degrees. Guys who are still wanting to go out into the deep, I've got a funny feeling that there will still be some Dorado and some good game fish out on the deep side. That's it, guys. Tight lines. Good luck, and speak to you next week.
So that is our report from Brad. Now, if you're looking for some harbor action, if you are fishing in the Durban harbor, there's been some reports of blacktip kingias, and well, that's on lure, and there's been some decent catches of grunter that's been on the bite. So now moving out of Durban into the north coast, Belito, Salt Rock, the Sheffield area, guys, bronze bream are still in abundance. So fish has been biting really well. And if you're into your drop shot fishing, that is certainly the place to be, as we've got a lot of reports on the bucktail action, bringing in a variety of species. So on our show, on the podcast show, actually, that's where you can find Jesse talking all about it. He goes into bucktail fishing in great detail. He also touches on the other facets of drop shot fishing. But in this week's show, we are really diving into the bucktail end. So once again, check out the full show on our podcast channels. If you're looking for some inedible action, well then, guys, your areas of Tindimena and Zinkwazi, they've been producing some diamonds and honeycombs. They haven't been thick, but the ones that did come out were some good quality fish. As for your offshore side, well, guys, Couta. It is definitely Couta season, and the guys are really enjoying the spoils, and that's between your kayak guys as well as your offshore skiboard anglers. Now getting into Richards Bay, we've got Ali, where the fishing has been good on all facets, and this is her report for this past week.
Hey guys, it's Ali from Richards Bay. I hope you're well. Fishing for this past week have been really good, especially for deep sea anglers. We've got plenty of Couta and marlin, as well as some amberjacks and tuna. On the bottom side, anglers got plenty of salmons and rockcod, as well as some slingers and soldiers. In our harbour, fishing was also really good. There was an angler, a friend of mine, Chris Vasaki, who caught a 39 point something kilo Douglas salmon on the north side, which was really good. But that's all for now. Thanks guys, tight lines.
Thank you, Ali. Guys, Richards Bay is certainly producing the goods. Now, another area, if you're looking for that offshore action, is St. Lucia. That's where we round off our saltwater report. And in St. Lucia, guys, once again, it's Couta. It is Couta. Look at these visuals. This is certainly some good fish that's been coming out over this past week. The charter guys are having a good time out there and enjoying themselves with the clients. And perhaps book a charter out there and go and get some of their Couta if you're not going up with your boat on your own. Apart from that, there has been some rock and surf action with some grunter, some pompano. The shad has been on the bite. So St. Lucia is definitely on the up and up. So guys, that rounds off our saltwater report. Now moving on to the freshwater, where the fishing has been good on all facets. All species has been on the bite. And starting off with your stillwater action, there's definitely been the rainbows on the bite with some good activity feeding on the larger patterns. These are your woolly buggers, your dragonflies, and your minnows. As for your brown trout action, there has been some good reports from the NFFC where the water is looking good, it is cleared up and looking crystal clear. So you definitely want to go and get some of that action. As for the bass, it is still fishing. Look at some of these images. There is some proper slabs that are coming out. As for Albert Falls, that's pretty much slowing down on the close at the moment, but Midma is still fishing well with those 1.5 to 2 kilo fish that's been on the bite quite regularly. So it is best to take advantage of that bass action while it's still there. The waters are cooling down. This season is nearing its end. So enjoy the spoils while we can. So guys, that rounds off this week's KZN Fishing Report. It has been a very good, productive week of fishing. Anglers have been enjoying the spoils throughout the entire coastline amongst a variety of species. Whether you are fishing offshore, the Couta is on the bite. If you are fishing rock and surf, there's still that inedible action. And you know what? Those edibles are coming in. The cooler water is coming in. So you know what? Rock and surf is a very good place to be right now. And if you're looking for that freshwater action, round it off with the bass, but the trout is still on the bite. So all in all, guys, KZN is fishing well. The seas are looking a bit big, but there are the rivers, and I just mentioned all the other places to go and fish. So get out there, go and get that fish and show us the reports. And if you want the full report of what's been going on, well, like we said, this is just the highlights. Go and listen to the full podcast on any of our Angler News channels of your favorite podcast station. So guys, until next week, I am Vinesh Sugrim. This is Angler News South Africa. And always remember, keep your fishing area tidy, respect those bag limits, and fish for the future.